Have you ever looked in the mirror and wondered about the long, winding road that led to you? The story of human evolution is often told as a straight line, a neat progression from stooped apes to upright Homo sapiens. But what if I told you that our family tree is more like a tangled, thorny bush, filled with bizarre relatives and evolutionary dead ends that scientists are still struggling to understand? What if some of these ancient humans were so strange, so out of place, that they almost seem like they shouldn't have existed at all? Today, we re-venturing deep into the caves and shadows of our past to uncover the stories of these ghost species, the human relatives that challenge everything we thought we knew about ourselves. Get ready, because we're about to meet the hobbits, the giants, and the enigmatic cave dwellers of our own family. This is the story of the human species that defy explanation. Let's start our journey in a place that seems straight out of a fantasy novel, the island of Flores in Indonesia. In 2003, a team of archaeologists made a discovery that would send shockwaves through the scientific world. Buried in the Liang Bua cave, they found the remains of a tiny, ancient human. Standing just over a meter tall, with a brain no larger than a chimpanzee's, this individual was unlike anything seen before. They nicknamed it the Hobbit, but its scientific name is Homo floresiensis. For years, the debate raged. Was this a modern human with a growth disorder, or something else entirely? The evidence piled up. It wasn't just one skeleton, but remains from multiple individuals, all tiny. They lived on Flores from around 190,000 to 50,000 years ago. Think about that time frame for a second. These hobbits were contemporaries of our own species, Homo sapiens. So, who were they? The leading theory is that they were descendants of an earlier human ancestor, perhaps Homo erectus, who became stranded on the island millions of years ago. Through a process called island dwarfism, where large species shrink over generations due to limited resources, they evolved into this miniature form. But the mysteries don't stop there. Despite their tiny brains, they made sophisticated stone tools, hunted pygmy elephants, and controlled fire. How could a creature with such a small brain accomplish such complex tasks? It completely upends our assumptions that brain size directly equals intelligence. Homo floresiensis proves that evolution can take unexpected and truly bizarre paths. It's a humbling reminder that for thousands of years, we shared our planet with another, very different kind of human. What other secrets does our past hold? We're just getting started. Next, we travel from the tropical islands of Indonesia to the freezing mountains of Siberia. In a cave known as Denisova, scientists found something truly minuscule. In 2010, not a full skeleton, but a tiny fragment of a finger bone from a young girl who lived over 50,000 years ago. At first, they assumed it belonged to a Neanderthal or an early modern human, both known to have inhabited the area. But when they sequenced the DNA from that tiny bone, they were stunned. It didn't match either group. It belonged to an entirely new, previously unknown branch of the human family tree. They named them the Denisovans. This was a bombshell. For the first time, an ancient human species was discovered not through fossils, but through genetics. We had found a ghost in the machine. Who were the Denisovans? The truth is, we barely know. We have only a handful of physical remains. That finger bone, a few teeth, and a jawbone found on the Tibetan plateau. From this scant evidence, we've pieced together a fascinating puzzle. Their DNA tells us they were a sister group to the Neanderthals, splitting from a common ancestor hundreds of thousands of years ago. They were widespread, ranging from the icy peaks of Siberia to the high-altitude plateaus of Tibet, and likely all across Asia. They weren't just our distant cousins. They were our partners. We know that our own Homo sapiens ancestors interbred with Denisovans. In fact, traces of Denisovan DNA can be found in modern human populations today, especially in people from Melanesia, Australia, and parts of Southeast Asia, where it can make up as much as 5% of their genome. This ancient DNA isn't just a relic. It has real-world effects. For example, a gene that helps modern Tibetans thrive at high altitudes was inherited from the Denisovans. They are the ultimate mystery, a vast and powerful population that left almost no physical trace, only genetic echoes within our own DNA. They are a constant, whispering reminder of a lost world we are only just beginning to map. Now for our final, and perhaps most perplexing relative, let's travel to the cradle of humankind in South Africa. In 2013, deep within the Rising Star Cave System, a team of explorers navigated a terrifyingly narrow, 12-meter vertical chute called Superman's Crawl to enter a chamber no modern human had seen before. What they found was breathtaking. The floor was littered with bones. Not just a few fragments, but over 1,500 fossils, belonging to at least 15 individuals, from infants to the elderly. This was a new species, Homo naledi, and it's a creature of contradictions. Homo naledi had a bizarre mix of ancient and modern features. Its shoulders and curved fingers were ape-like, built for climbing. Its feet and long legs, however, were strikingly modern, built for walking upright. And then there's the head. Its brain was tiny, about the size of an orange, comparable to our much earlier ancestors like Australopithecus. But here is where it gets truly strange. The age of the fossils was determined to be shockingly recent, between 335,000 and 236,000 years ago. This means that while our own ancestors in Africa were developing larger brains and more sophisticated tools, this small-brained, primitive-looking human was living right alongside them. It's like finding a Model T Ford driving on a modern highway. It just doesn't seem to fit. The biggest mystery of all, however, is how did they get into that incredibly remote, dark chamber? There were no signs of predators dragging them in. No evidence of a natural disaster washing them in. The bones were carefully deposited. This has led to an astonishing and controversial hypothesis. Homo naledi was deliberately placing its dead in this chamber. This suggests ritualistic behavior, a complex social act that we once thought was unique to large-brained species like ourselves. Could this creature with a tiny brain have been grappling with concepts of death and ritual? Homo naledi forces us to ask, what does it truly mean to be human? Is it our brain size? Our tools? Or is it something deeper, something more spiritual? The hobbits, the Denisovans, and Homo naledi are more than just evolutionary oddities. They are a profound challenge to our own story. They shatter the simple, linear narrative of human evolution and replace it with a rich, complex, and often confusing tapestry of life. They show us that for most of our history, Earth was a human planet in the plural. We weren't alone. We shared this world with a diverse cast of other human species, some of whom we met, interbred with, and competed against. Their existence proves that there isn't one correct way to be human. Evolution is a messy, experimental process, and these species represent paths not taken, alternative versions of humanity that thrived for hundreds of thousands of years before vanishing. Why did they disappear while we survived? Was it luck? A changing climate? Or was it something about us, Homo sapiens, that gave us an edge? We still don't have all the answers. Their stories are a powerful lesson in humility. We tend to see ourselves as the pinnacle of evolution, the inevitable result of millions of years of progress. But the existence of these other humans shows us that our survival was never guaranteed. We are just one branch on a vast and sprawling family tree, and many other branches have been pruned by time. By studying them, we learn more about ourselves, about our resilience, our adaptability, and the genetic ghosts we carry within us. They are a part of our story, a hidden chapter that is only now being read. And the most exciting part? We're still discovering more. Every new fossil, every DNA sequence, adds another piece to this incredible human puzzle. Who knows what other strange relatives are waiting to be found in the caves and crevices of our world? Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into our deep past. The story of our family is far from over, and it's more fantastic than we could have ever imagined. If you enjoyed this exploration and want to learn more about the mysteries of our world, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us continue to make content like this. Let me know in the comments which of these ancient humans you find the most fascinating. Until next time, stay curious